Our new facility at Banner University Medical Center was designed with you in mind. With private patient rooms, modern design, and advanced technology, we're working to make Tucson's future brighter and your visits easier.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. You're listening to the Bruce Montalvo Show by way of Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker.com/the Bruce Montalvo Show. It is February 2nd, 2018. And joining me now, he really needs no introduction. He is one of the preeminent experts in the occult sciences. He's been studying it for over 50 years. Our good friend, Jordan Maxwell, joins us now. Let's see where he is. Here he is. Jordan, hello.
Hello there, Bruce.
How's it going?
Good to be with you again.
Thank you for joining us today.
So what are we talking about tonight?
The topic tonight is everything you ever wanted to know about secret societies. You know, it's all over the TV. It's gone from covert to overt. They're talking about FISA courts and secret courts that could detain Americans without their knowing. Not a regular court, a secret court. And they're talking about secret societies out in the open now. And we have a president here that is on paper battling the secret societies. The FBI, we've known for a while, they're kind of their own secret society going back to J. Edgar Hoover days. And I want to let the audience know from one of the experts, such as yourself, with over 50 years of research into secret societies, just what exactly is going on.
Well, for one thing, we need to understand that not all of the alphabet agencies like CIA and FBI and NSA, these are not in point of fact government agencies. They are privately controlled, privately owned, so to speak, but they are not government agencies. But the U.S. government as a corporation, as a company, the U.S. government has a financial interest in these different corporations that they don't own. So the United States federal government has a financial interest in the FBI and the CIA and the NSA and some of the other alphabet agencies, especially intelligence and military agencies, but they don't actually own them.
Right.
These are not actual government agencies as such, meaning they were not set up by the federal government. If you go back and look at the beginnings of the CIA and the FBI and these other agencies, not all of them, but there's a lot of the main ones we hear about today are not exactly owned by the U.S. government. They were set up by other people and are controlled and run by other people. And as an ultimate bottom line, they're not owned by the U.S. government, but the U.S. government has financed them a little here and there and continues to finance them. So the U.S. has I guess you would call it a financial interest in the FBI, in the CIA, in the NSA, and all of these agencies, but they don't own them. And so that's important to keep in mind, that these alphabet agencies are pretty much on their own. They can do whatever they want to do.
Oh, yeah.
And the government has to just go along with it because they've got some money involved in it, but they don't control it.
Wow, like I've heard you say before, I mean, the United States is a privately owned corporation, and I guess the question here is, who owns you? Who owns them? Who owns them?
Well, yeah, excuse me. If you go back to the Civil War, you will remember that after the Civil War, the United States of America was no longer in existence.
Right.
It was the concept of the United States of America as it was viewed in 1776 in 1870s, after the Civil War, there was actually, in fact, no United States of America existing in law, period. And so there was North America and all the millions of people in it, but there was no United States of America after the Civil War. And that was by law. And the reason why is because the United States was many things, but in 1870 they weren't united. One half of the country just got through killing the other half of the country. And so there was a bloody, bloody civil war. And so after the war was finally over, well, yeah, it's over, but we're no longer united. There's still animosity today between the North and the South for many different reasons. So we weren't united, and the politicians knew it, and the people knew it. But we're all here, and we all have to continue to live. And so it was decided, all right, since we're no longer a United States of America, we no longer have the freedoms and the liberties and the justice and all the great foundations for the United States of America, now that all of that is gone, and you no longer are what we call free.
Yeah.
Therefore, if you're no longer free, this is no longer a free country. That was over and done with after the Civil War.
Wow. Yeah, all you have to do is Google it, right, Jordan? You Google U.S. is a corporation, and the answers are right there.
Just go on the web and type in, and go to not only the web, but also go to YouTube and type in the word U.S. is a corporation, period. U.S. is a corporation. And just type that into the web itself, text, or in YouTube, and listen to all of the experts and all the people who are giving lectures about what really happened to the United States of America, and what we are today is nothing more than a corporation. We're just a company. We are like Sears and Baskin Robbins and Union Oil and Exxon. We're just a company. It's called the United States Corporation.
So I guess yes. So I guess it's pretty good to say that we have a CEO running this corporation, as Donald Trump was a businessman. He's a businessman, a CEO himself.
That's precisely right. We've got, at least this time, we at least do have a corporate business mind running a corporation.
Right.
All the others that have been running this corporation, all the way back to Kennedy, were criminals, murderers, criminals. There's just no words in the English language to explain what these people were like. They're not corporation heads. They never worked for a day in their life for a living.
Oh, no.
They have no idea in the world how to earn a living or how to run a company. They're just criminals, and they moved themselves into positions running for a government and got in, and therefore they are the head of a corporation. But if you keep in mind that presidents of a corporations are not the bottom line on anything. A president of a corporation is a figurehead. He merely represents the company to the corporate world, but he is not the ultimate boss. The ultimate boss of a corporation are the guys who own it.
Right.
The guys who actually own the corporation. They are the bosses, and the manager or the president of the corporation, he takes the heat for the problems, and so once every 4 years, the way it works, we say that we live in a democracy. Well, we don't live in a democracy. at all. There is no such a thing as a democracy. What we live in is a corporate democracy. And Americans don't know the difference between a people's democracy and a corporate democracy. Now, let me explain it to you. If you work for, let's say, Ford Motor Company or General Electric or
Right.
some big corporation, and like Ford and like all other big corporations, they're in many, many countries of the world. So Ford is in Africa, it's in India. Excuse me. And so if you work for Ford or any other big corporation, and no matter what country you live in, if you're getting your paycheck from Ford, then you are part of the Ford company, period. It doesn't matter where you are. And so therefore, if you're a member of the Ford company, the corporations were very clever. The guys who run the corporations were very smart and very clever and deceptive. They realized that the people are going to want to rebel against the against the companies. They're going to want to rebel, and they're not going to like having to work under the corporate system. But so what they decided to do, the big guys at the top many, many years ago decided that they would they would let the people who work for the corporation pick the guys to lead them. They would let you pick who you want to lead the corporation. Of course, they own the corporation.
Right.
But they will let you pick who you like to run and to be the president of the corporation because you think he runs the company. No, he doesn't run the company at all. He manages the company for the owners. And so, the idea being that today, the corporation called United States is a municipal corporation, but it's a company. It's a corporation. And therefore, you're not going to like a lot of the stuff the corporation's going to do because they don't give a damn about you and your family and your children and your family. They don't care a damn about you or your family or other countries of the world and their families. They don't give a damn about none of it. We're talking business, money. And so the corporations are going to do whatever they have to do to make a buck. And they're going to make a lot of money off of wars and violence and selling slaves and doing anything and everything to make a quick buck and to make money for the stockholders, the guys who own the company. And so, but they realize you're not going to like it as a civilization, as part of the people working in this world. You're not going to like the stuff that they're going to do.
Oh, yeah, they get rich off of our backs, right, Jordan? I mean, I'm seeing here a note from Black's Law Dictionary that's on your Research Society website. There's here a corporation is a bankrupt organization for House Joint Resolution. This is going back to 1933. I mean, the Federal Reserve is privately owned, like you were saying.
That's right. Now, here's the trick, though. The trick is that the owners of the big corporations of the world, they know that the people are not going to be very happy with the kind of stuff that's going on, all the corruption and violence and lies and deception. The people are not going to be happy with that at all. But they have no choice because the corporations own the property. They own it all. And like George Carlin says, it's a big club and you ain't in it. But what they decided to do to eliminate this problem of the discontent of the people of the nation working for the corporations, they decided to play a trick. And the trick was to allow you and the public to feel that you have some input into this. You've got some say in this government and in this country. And if you're in Canada, you've got something to say about what should happen to Canada.
They give you the illusion.
That's right. The illusion of having some power. So how did they do that? Well, they keep the power themselves, but they're going to let you think you have a power over them.
It's like if you and I, yeah, absolutely, Jordan. It's like if you and I opened up a Burger King, right? I mean, we don't own Burger King, but we're going to manage that specific Burger King.
That's precisely right. But in managing it, you will do what the corporate headquarters tells you to do.
Oh, yeah, I can't make my own burger there. I can't make it my way. I got to do what they say.
Well, it's just business. You want to make some money, or don't you?
Exactly.
And so that's the way it works. So therefore, what I'm getting at is this, that the corporations realize that the people are going to be very unhappy with the loss of their freedom, the loss of their money, the loss of their home, the loss of everything, and the big international corporations coming in and taking over your country, your town, your life, and smothering you. So they know the people are not going to like it. And so what they decided to do is to trick the people into thinking that the people have the power, because ultimately, at the end of the day, the people of a nation, the people of a city, the people of a county, the people have always had the ultimate power, period. That has been known from day one. Kings and rulers and princes know they have to keep the people happy, because the people are the power of any government. You don't think so. If you think that you are the power, well, if you got 1 million people showing up in Washington, D.C. with boards and pitchforks, and they're showing up, coming from all over the nation, and there's over 1 million surrounding the White House, and another couple of million coming in, and they are angry and they want something done.
They're mad as hell. They're not going to take it anymore.
No, well, but when that happens, the point I'm making is I don't care how important the government thinks it is, or the president thinks he is. When you got millions of people showing up in the city and they're all mad and they're all angry and they're all united, you better back up and look at the reality of things. You don't have the power. The people have the power. And if they do something with it. Well, in the ancient Roman Empire, there was 10 sets of laws. There were 10 different laws that were called maxims of law. The 10 basic laws governing the Roman Empire. And one of the first laws governing the Roman Empire said, the will of the people, no, the voice of the people is the will of God.
Wow.
The voice of the people is the will of God. Simply meaning, if Caesar sees 500,000-600,000 Romans surrounding the Capitol Hill in Rome, and they're angry, and there are riots going on, Caesar may think of himself as superior and very powerful, but if you get 500,000 to 1 million people showing up, and they are angry, and they're mad, and they're in riotous stage, I don't care who you are, you better listen to them, and you better go out there and make peace with them, because they are masses of people that can do you some serious harm. And if it gets out of line and it goes out of control, I don't care who you are, if you're Caesar or who you are, it doesn't matter. You got some serious problems. If the people show up and they are wanting something, you better give it to them.
Well, what if the people are mentally ill? Like what we're seeing now, so many mentally ill people. I mean, could you believe the craziness we've been seeing since Donald Trump became president? I mean, it's just insane zaniness everywhere. I mean, the people are out there.
But that's for a different reason. That's a different situation. I'll explain that in a minute why. But the bottom line on what I've been saying is this, that the corporations realized as far back as 1870s, when the United States of America was no longer in force, and it was now becomes a company, a corporation. The corporate heads in Washington, D.C., and the big shots, who own the big corporations and who actually own the United States corporation, They wanted to give the people the feeling that they were in control. And so they tell the people every 4 years, you decide who you want to run the country. You decide, because the people, they will decide. And so all the Joe Sixpack and his wife and all of the poor, ill-informed, unread, ignorant, working class people of America, they feel that they have a say in this government. They can decide who they want to be the president. They can decide, not the corporation heads, but the people will go to the polls and vote. Well, in point of fact, no, that's not what's going on. It's called a corporate democracy, meaning if you are a member of the corporation, I don't care where you are, but if you're working for the corporation called United States, then you have a right to vote every 4 years to who you would like to see be president. Which one of the 8 people that we put up, that the corporation puts up for you to vote on? Because remember, you can elect the president, but you cannot select the president.
That's right. No, what we have, Jordan, is no different than what the communist dictatorships and like going back to Stalin had, where they said it. You could vote. Right, you could vote, but they count the vote.
Yeah, you can vote, all right, but like Mao Zedong said, you can vote all you want, but who counts the votes? I do.
You know, Jordan, you just said that Mao Zedong. Doesn't that sound like Satan? Mao Satan? I'm big on words, just like you.
Yeah, I know. Well, but Mao Zedong in China, when he took over China, did something very, very interesting that almost nobody knew anything about. It was very, very smart. Once he took over the communist position of communist dictator, absolute, dictator like Adolf Hitler.
They took out Chiang Kai-shek.
When he took over China, listen to this, when he took over China, one of the first things he knew, he was smart enough to know, is that a lot of people in China don't want him. They don't want a dictatorship. They don't want a fascist, bloody, murdering dictator. And he knew that. He's not stupid. And so what he did, Mao Zedong did, was he ordered all of the top communist leaders that were his friends and buddies in his system. He ordered them to go out and start talking against him in government. Go out and start talking against him and calling him, all kinds of names, and saying that he was living high and living off the people, and he was a criminal, etc., etc. So he ordered all of his top aides and top people around the Communist Party in China to start verbally criticizing him in public. He wanted that. And
wow.
So when the people of China began to see that even the leaders of the Communist Party, supposedly working for Mao Zedong, are now bad-mouthing Mao and calling him names and saying he's a criminal, then the people began to feel that they could also say the same thing. They were frightened to death to say anything because they'd have their heads cut off.
Right.
But, however, if all of the leaders of the Communist Party are now bad-mouthing Mao Zedong and calling him all kinds of names and attributing to him all kinds of criminality, then the people felt more secure because even the party leaders are saying the same thing. So now the people felt more secure and starting to form, societies and form new political groups and to come out in public and start talking about Mao because even the party leaders are talking about Mao. And so when the people started talking publicly about Mao, that's what Mao wanted to know. That's what he wanted to know. Who out there are thinking that I'm a criminal and that they want me they want me off the earth. Who of all the millions of Chinese in this country, who were the ones who are thinking that about me?
Wow. That way he could select his enemies.
And now I know who they are. Now I've got their names and addresses and phone numbers, and I know who they are now. Now I know who my enemies are. And so then the followers and then all the officials all of a sudden overnight changed their tune, and now they're supporting Mao and they're supporting the Communist Party. But all the poor people who thought that they were going to be safe coming out and saying the same thing, now that's what Mao wanted to know. Now he knows your name. He knows what you're thinking. He's heard you. And so that's the same thing we got today. Today we got Facebook and Twitter and all the other little Mickey Mouse CIA Nazi operations going on in America, being financed by the international banking cartels to see who you are. What do you look like? Put your picture out there. I want to see what you and your wife and your children and your dog, I want to know everything about you. Put out there your picture and what you think about the president and tell me all about all the things that you don't like. And we'll put you into the computer, and therefore you have a right to speak, and you can go out and say anything you want. But this is a free country, and what you don't know is that Twitter and all these other social networks owned, operated, financed, and run by the Illuminati masters who run this world. And now they have everybody. They have everybody's picture. They know who your friends are. They know where your friends live. They know what you're thinking. They see what you say every night. They can see what your thoughts are. And they're, slowly but surely, they're building a computer-based model for who's going to live and who's going to die. And one day soon, they're going to come knocking on your door. And they know exactly where you live, and they don't have to worry about how to find you. They got pictures of you that you put out there. So,
oh, my God.
So
it's crazy.
The bottom line is that it's the same old ancient stuff that's been going on, from the Roman Empire down to today. But most people don't sit and spend their whole life studying the dark side. I've spent my whole life reading and studying the dark movements of the international bankers, how they are recreating a new human society, how they have commercialized human life so that your life, your very body and soul is on a New York Stock Exchange. People don't know that you have a stock in the New York Stock Exchange with your name on it.
You're cattle. We're cattle.
All you've ever been was cattle.
And Jordan, I want to hint on this because we talked about Mao. It was a psyop what he did. It was a total psyop, and he was put there by none other than the CIA, the same people that, like you said, brought you Facebook.
Exactly. It's the same people who put Mao Zedong into power. They put Adolf Hitler into power. They put George Bush into power. They put all the people around the world, they put them into power. And if they can put them into power, then logic will tell you they can take them out just as easy.
Yes.
And so I've talked with people high up in government, very high up in government, and they have said to me, yeah, we put so-and-so into office, and if we don't like him, we will take him out. We will call him and tell him to drop out of the office, and he can quit himself for whatever reason, or if he doesn't want to do that, then we'll help him. We'll put a hole in his head, big enough to stick a fist through.
These people, Jordan, that are running government, they're occultists. They know what days to talk to the people. I mean, Trump gave his address during the supermoon. And I did a little bit of looking into the astrology of it, and he's got all sorts of things going for him on that day, that specific day of the supermoon. And it was a day where the moon turned into a blue moon and then a red moon. I mean, this is stuff that I read from like demonology texts, like Lucifuge, or just very scary stuff. They know when to talk to us. I'm looking in the Capitol Hill. There's all sorts of esoteric symbols. Even on the chairs, they have the ancient sun symbol, the swastika, there in Capitol Hill.
I know. I've sort of been trying to tell everybody for all these years is that whatever is happening in politics and religion and government, wars and military and banking, whatever is happening in the world, somebody's in control, and it ain't you.
Oh, no.
And it's like George Carlin says, it's a big club, the guys who run this world, and you ain't in it.
But they beat you with that club easily.
Yeah. So the point I want to make, though, is that people understand when you go to the polls, they say that, we're going to go to the polls to vote for the president. What is a poll? What are you calling? What are you talking about? A poll. So you're going to the polls. A poll is merely to see what the people of the nation are thinking. So let's put out there about 6 or 8 different guys, and one of them is supposed to be this way, and the other one is this way, and the other one's that way. And let's see which one the nation likes as opposed to the ones that the nation don't like. And so finally you get a preponderance of people, overwhelming majority of people who like this one particular person. They don't know anything about him. He's equally as corrupt as everybody else. But the nation likes him. Well, that's the one the Illuminati masters will put into power as the president of the corporation.
Wow.
And so why? Simple. The people like him. The people wanted him. So therefore, the people are not going to be too quick to rant and rave against him because the people put him in. The people decided. So they like him. So therefore, now you begin to see how this thing is being played. Because the guys who own the corporation, they don't care who's sitting as president. They couldn't care less. They own the company, period. And so they will do whatever they're going to do. But there's none of your business what they're going to do. It's a company and they didn't invite you. And so, but the people feel, well, we voted for so-and-so because everybody likes him. Good. That's what your masters wanted you to think. Is that you put him in. You were the one that elected him, but you didn't select him.
Right.
And now you find out what's really going on. It's not a people's democracy. It is a corporate democracy because only those people who work for the corporation called United States can vote. Because you have to be a member of the corporation. Why would I vote for the president of Ford Motor Company? I've never even been around a Ford Motor Company. So what have I got to say about Ford Motor Company's president? But if I work for Ford Motor Company, and if I'm unhappy about something, and somebody comes out and they're going to run the company different the way I want it to run, then I'll vote for him. So that's what the corporations are doing. They're putting people out there that they know that you will like and they know that you will not like. And
wow.
So they knew instinctively that the people of America would love Obama. They would fall down on their face and worship him as Jehovah God. They love Obama. Why? Because they really was tired of Bush. My God, they were tired of Bush. And so then to put a young black man in to be a totally different kind of person.
Knowing nothing about him. You're right.
And so everybody loved Obama until they found out what the name of the tune is really all about. It's really all about the guys sitting in the Waldorf Astoria in the dark rooms with the smoke-filled rooms where the big money is talking business behind the world scene and who's going to run what, who owns what. And so once you understand the entire system we live under is nothing more than a criminal organization racket. And yet the government of the United States started off to be a very good idea. And the people who founded this country were trying to do something of value to free the people. So the country the ideas behind the founding of America were wonderful. They were great.
Yes.
But in the Civil War, that was over. Today, it's just business. That's what the mafia will tell you. That's what your company will tell you. It's just business. We don't care what you like. and what you don't like. You can
Wow.
go on out there and cry and you can complain all you want, but you're the one that voted the person in. So if he turns out to be a criminal, it's just, well, that's because you're a criminal. You're so stupid that you voted him in. And you thought you were going to do something different. No, the people that run for president, they are picked by the masters who run the planet.
So all the branches of the government are secret societies, like the Illuminati, Skull and Bones, the Rosicrucians, the Ku Klux Klan, the Order of Templar.
What does that tell you?
They're all the ones. They're all the branches of the same tree, which is the United States. They're the ones running the show.
Well, that's what I said. Secret societies, fraternal orders, very powerful. I mean, most people don't realize the significance of those words, secret society, unless, of course, you're talking about the mafia.
Yes.
If you're talking about the underworld organization, organized crime in New York City and Chicago, well, now you understand how dangerous that can be. Yeah, you better believe it can be dangerous.
If you watch The Godfather, you see that they're going to war, which leads me to this question from a fan on Facebook. He wants me to ask you if all this stuff about the Clintons getting an indictment supposedly, this Obamagate stuff, and the possible arrests because they're ramping this up. Is it all just bullshit?
Yes. That's my. I've only been looking at the world I live in for about 58 years now, going on 59 years, almost 60 years. I've been looking at the world and how it works, and there is no doubt in my mind that all this stuff about the Clintons and all the criminality and all this dirty stuff that's going on with child sacrifice and sex parties and all this stuff, nobody's going to be dealt with, period.
Wow.
They've never been, they're not now, and never will be.
Oh, my God.
Why? Because the people, the men who are empowered on this earth to run the globe that we live on, these people work for them.
Right.
And so if you're going to go to Al Capone and complain about some of the mob guys that killed somebody and killed your friend, you might as well stay home. Don't try and get anything done by talking to Al Capone.
Oh, they'll whack you
because he don't give a damn that people work for him.
Yeah.
So my point being, I don't think anything is going to happen to any of the FBI. I think they may sacrifice somebody who's they didn't like him anyway, so they'll throw him into the fire. They'll throw him under the bridge or throw him under the bus, so to speak. But I don't think anything's ever going to happen to Hillary Clinton. I don't think anything's ever going to happen to any of the big shots at the top who are so corrupt that they can't even walk straight.
What about Obama? Because I've been researching the U.S. Army, the military. They've been training to take on black people. So I mean, if they arrest Obama, I mean, I'm guessing that everybody, because the Chicago Mafia, Los Angeles, New York, all the libtard states, they're going to be rioting there. The black people are going to be mad that their Lord and Savior, Barack Obama, got arrested. Right. Is he really going to get arrested? Or, again, bullshit?
But what you need to remember is behind Obama, the idea that a young black man is going to come in and take over the largest, most powerful, financially monstrous military-industrial complex on the face of the earth, that the Nazi Empire was defeated by, the Communist Empire was defeated by, and that today the entire world is under the direct domination of the most powerful single empire the world has ever known.
Wow.
And that a young black man is going to walk in one day and he's going to become the boss. He's the boss man now, and he's going to call the shots. You have to be out of your mind.
Oh, yeah.
To think that this most powerful government on the face of the earth, which has the military-industrial complex of the earth in its hands, and a young black man is going to walk in, and he's just going to take over, and he's going to be the boss. So then you find out, who really put Obama into office, period. Oh, now you look at Zbigniew Brzezinski.
Who's burning in hell right now.
Oh, yeah, and then you look at Henry Kissinger. Yeah, and then you start looking into the Nazi International or the World Communist Party and finding out the people who financed the Soviet Union and the world, people, revolutionary governments of the world, the people who financed Cuba and who give the money to North Korea. Find out who's running the planet. And then you'll find out nobody, no matter how corrupt they are in Washington, D.C., nobody's going to jail. Nobody's going to do anything. Everybody just keep your job and keep your mouth shut and let the people think that, well, we took care of them and so-and-so went to jail and so-and-so went to prison. And then you find out even those people who do go to jail, if you go back and watch some movies like Goodfellas, when the big shots go to jail, they got their own little place on the jail property. They got their own little quarters that they could come and go in like they want.
Yeah.
They got television, they got phones, TVs, telephones. They got everything.
They had cheese, lobster.
They got everything. They eat steak and lobster and have the best wine. And they go out and can come back in the evening time. And so
they let them sell drugs. They let them sell drugs to the other inmates, make a killing.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That's right. So the point being is that the entire United States of America today and the world that follows it is in the hands of some of the most powerful and diabolical agencies the world has ever known. And there's nothing going to be done about it, period. Zero, nothing. Because I have said for some 58 years now that the people of America, like the people of this world, have no power to do anything, period. They can complain, they can cry and moan about the conditions, but they cannot do anything. It's like the guy raping a girl. She can cry and yell all she wants as long as she doesn't do anything.
Right.
Like pull out a gun. So as long as the people cry and complain, and then they give them their beer and their alcohol and their sports and sex and drugs and rock and roll, give them something to occupy their mind, and then they'll stop crying. And so it's like you pacified a baby. Give him something pretty that's making noise or some kind of a little toy, and then all of a sudden the baby stops crying, and now he's interested in something else. And so the same idea happens in politics. There's no one is going to be hurt or harmed by the criminality going on in Washington, D.C., period. So you can sit and wait and worry and watch, but I can give you an idea about what to do. Don't even fool with worry about what's going on in Washington, D.C., because you don't have anything to say about it from day one. It's not your company, it's not your country, it's not your government, it ain't got nothing to do with you.
Well, they get rich.
The smart thing to do is just educate yourself and try and to help yourself and your family and your friends to wake up, learn how to read, go to the library and read a book, or learn how to think, learn how to count and think and read and put down the silly-ass ball games. Every single game I can think of in this country is around a ball. Think about that. Every single sport we have is based around a ball.
And ball is the name of a demon.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. But we have football, baseball, basketball, tennis ball, ping pong ball, kicker ball, soccer ball, golf ball. My God, all the sports are always a ball. Why? Simple. Because this is what animals, cats and dogs, love, to play with a ball.
Right.
You throw the ball out, and the dogs will run around and chase the ball all day long, keep them occupied. Cats will play with the ball for hours and keep them occupied, keep them out of the way. Just throw them out a ball, and they'll play with the ball for the next 10 hours. And so that's what our masters are doing to us. They give you a ball game. And you just sit there and worry about the ball game and who's winning and who's playing and what team's this and what team's that. The bottom line is it's just a ball game for people who have no idea in the world what's going on. Just keep them occupied. Make sure they got plenty of beer and plenty of alcohol. So you put a liquor store on every corner of every street in America, period, and make liquor easy for anybody. It's on every corner of every street. There's a liquor store.
Right, you just get them drunk.
Even in your 5 and 10 cent stores, they got liquor, all kinds of liquors and wines. Why? Because they want you to stay liquored up, drugged up, and watch television and keep your mouth shut and don't worry about what's going to happen to the world because you ain't got nothing to say about it anyway.
That's so true, Jordan. You know, they want you drunk and stupid and watching the Super Bowl, and then they sacrifice us at will. I mean, the symbolism, the symbolic, nature, putting a dog tag on us, in the military. I mean, you put dog tags on dogs, right? Dog tag.
Well, that's what you are. You're a dog.
Hey, my mother called me a dog a bunch of times.
Yeah. and so my point in my existence is to call the attention of the people of the world, to call the people's attention to the fact that you need to learn how to read. You need to learn how to think and question everything and start with authority. Because in this world, we're all human. And therefore, the people who are over you are nothing more than humans. But like any other human, if you give the person authority, like the British statesman said, power of itself, power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. Therefore, if you submit yourself and crawl on your knees to go vote for this powerful person or that powerful politician or this particular guy or that, and then you find out, no, they're just like me. They're just as corrupt, ignorant, dim-witted, and can be bought off just like anybody else. And so today I have no faith whatsoever in the human system that we live under, period. End of sentence.
I don't blame you.
Because until you learn how to read and think and start questioning everything, and especially questioning what do words mean, what is the etymology of words and ideas and concepts and belief systems, and where do these ideas and belief systems come from? I mean, you can call yourself Catholic or Jewish or Muslim. It doesn't matter. Where do the beliefs that you hold come from? You don't know. That's exactly right. You don't know. And then you come to find out when you start educating yourself that all of the different religions of the world came from the same place. All of the different political systems have all come from the same place. And the more you understand the world you live in, the more you see you don't have any freedom. You're not free or brave. Like Dick Gregory used to say, you talk about America being the land of the free and the home of the brave, you ain't free or brave. You need to go get a job and shut up.
Oh, man.
So that's the name of the tune today. You need to wake up and realize you are no longer in America, the land of the free and home of the brave. You need to keep your mouth shut or you'll go to prison. You need to keep your mouth shut and don't give anybody any opinions because people don't want to hear your opinion. Just do your job. Just do your job. And where if you got a job, just go do your job. Right. And be happy.
They're watching you, right? I mean, they're watching us all, what we do, like you said, the Facebook. And, the secret societies are right outside your door. I mean, right down the street, you got a Catholic church. That's a secret society. The Knights of Columbus.
They don't have to go looking for you. They can sit home and smoke their cigars and turn on YouTube, and they can turn on Twitter, and they can see you and your family and where you live and your address and what you're saying, And they just make a little note of that. They'll deal with you later.
And it's right in front of their face. I mean, the Facebook logo itself, I mean, it's the Tubal Cain logo, right?
Yep. That goes back to the Old Testament. Tubal Cain is called Tubal Cain, which when you go back and do some research on the Old Testament, the Bible, and the person that's in the Bible called Tubal Cain, it becomes two B-A-L-L-S, two balls and a cane. So you have a walking cane.
Mm-hmm.
And so the Tubal Cain is a male sex symbol. So, but most people don't know this because it's not important. It hasn't got anything to do with Paris Hilton or the Dodgers ball game.
Oh, but it is. It's actually the password to get into certain secret societies.
So what? So it's just business.
Oh, it's
anyway,
crazy.
The bottom line on all of this is simple. There are two places. Excuse me.
It's okay.
There are two places that I highly recommend you go to. And I don't care what you think of my ideas. I don't care what you think about what I'm saying. I'm just giving you the straight stuff. There are two places that I would highly recommend you go to and join. And it's not political parties. Go on my website, Jordan Maxwell Show. It's jordanmaxwellshow.com. And remember to add the word show, because that's my website, Jordan Maxwell Show. Go on that website, and you will see two things that you need to be a part of. I don't care if you understand it or not. I'm just telling you. So if you don't do it, that's not my problem. That's your problem. But two things you need to do is you need to join my research website. You'll see a little banner that says Jordan Maxwell Research Society or Jordan Maxwell Research Website. You need to click on that and join it, because I am taking all of my work that I've been doing over the years on all of the subjects from law and government and military, religion, churches, mosques, all the different cults and all the different religious stuff that's going on that you have no idea in the world what it means. All of this research work, the people who I very highly admire, the websites I highly recommend.
Oh, yeah.
And all of the dark secrets of the world that I've been working with and talking about for years, I'm uploading onto that research website all of my research. There's a lot there now, but it doesn't even scrape the surface. I've got over 4 terabytes, which is 4,000 gigs of research material on all kinds of subjects that you probably know nothing about. And so little by little, my webmaster is uploading onto my research website all of my research material from over the years. And so I would highly suggest you join that. Join my Jordan Maxwell Show and join my research website.
I joined, and I could vouch for it. Absolutely amazing. A treasure trove. For only $30, you get a lifetime membership to, like Jordan said, some stuff that you have no idea, but you want to find out about. He's been doing this for 50 years. I mean, he's a living legend, right, Jordan?
Yeah, well, I've got stuff on that research website, documents, whole documents which are worth tens of thousands of dollars to very highly placed, wealthy people in the world that would pay huge sums of money to know what's in those documents. And I've got them on there for free for people to come and read for free. Documents, and there's a whole section just on important documents. And some of the stuff in that important documents are so important that there's no price to be paid for that kind of knowledge.
Oh, no.
And I'm giving it to you for a $30 contribution for a lifetime subscription to all of my research material that I've been doing over the years. And the second place that I would suggest you join also, you will see when you go to Jordan Maxwell Show, is a picture of me first, where I am now working with a company called Gaia. Simple. GAIA.com. GAIA.com. Gaia is a magnificent company which is over 8,000 documentaries, videos that are very highly professionally produced documentaries from people from all over the world who are on the cutting edge of society, on the cutting edge of science, and philosophy, and religion, and the occult, where all kinds of strange and incredibly important information that the experts around the planet know about and are talking about their work. And Gaia has brought all of these people together and produced their work in one place. So if you really want to educate yourself, just go on my website, Jordan Maxwell Show, and the first picture you will see is me, and you can just click on the picture and join Gaia. It's an incredible operation which is presenting all of the dark and interesting, fascinating wisdom of the world that people just don't know.
And they make great products as well. I mean, you see they're really getting out there. They're very prolific. I mean, health, all sorts of things. Anyway, Jordan, I don't want to hold you up. I know you probably got another show to do. You're prolific yourself, beyond prolific. But we got one fan question that I want to get to. They're asking me from Argentina. His name's Diego. He wants to know, what's the significance of the Bible, the book in the Bible that's known as Numbers? Why did they call it Numbers? Before we go,
it's because the Jews, of course, are very well aware that numerology can be the key to understanding the universe. Numbers. Numerology is very important. When you were born, what time, what day, what hour, and the numbers, because Albert Einstein many times talked about the fact that God used numbers. He used mathematics to create the universe.
Right.
Everything is mathematical. This is why you have some of the best and biggest scientists in the world are referred to as mathematicians, not astronomers and not physicists and scientists. They're referred to as mathematicians. Well, that's what Albert Einstein was, a mathematician. Why? Because numbers are profoundly important, far more than you will ever realize. I like what one of the astronomers said, that the universe is not only stranger than you imagine, it's stranger than you can imagine.
Oh, yeah.
And so once you understand the connection with your life to numbers, what day you were born, how old you are, and if you begin to look with spiritual eyes, you will see that numbers are very important.
Well, they get it right, Jordan. I mean, they even know what type of person you're going to be, you know.
That's right.
Like you're a Capricorn, I'm a Sagittarius, I'm born on this day, you're born on that day. And it almost, to a T, the zodiac doesn't lie. I mean, if you're one of these people, like a Gemini or one of the, I mean, you have those traits without even knowing it.
That's exactly right.
It's
and
amazing.
The governmental powers of this world, they know that. You're not supposed to know that. It's not important. The churches will tell you all that is all a bunch of bull. It's all astrology.
Of course.
No basis in anything. That's because they don't want you to know what they know.
You know, Jordan, it even says in the Bible, it's all astrology. Jesus was an astrologer. Luke was an astrologer. They told us to look up at the stars, did they not?
Yeah, of course. The whole Bible, both Old and New Testament, is astrological. Period. It's a whole story. Old Testament Judaism and New Testament Christianity is nothing more than astrology.
It's absolutely incredible. We're going to have to bring you back on and get into the Bible, get into so much stuff. Thank you so much, Jordan, for being on. And, we'll talk soon. Thank you so much for doing this show. And, we love having you on. The fans absolutely I love having you on. And I get like thousands and thousands of hits every time you're on this program.
Well, thank you. And tell those thousands of people about my website, jordanmaxwellshow.com.
You got it, Jordan. Thank you so much. We'll talk again. Thank you. Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Jordan Maxwell. What a show. What a show. Be sure to go to his research society. That's Jordan Maxwell Research Society, calling everything into question. Great man, a great friend. And we hope you like this broadcast. We'll be sure to have him on again. And we got to get into all sorts of other stuff. We hope you enjoyed this segment of the Bruce Montalvo Show. Everything you wanted to know about secret societies and then some. Hey, and if we didn't touch on all of it, you know, there's always next time. Right? We could do like 100 shows about secret societies in a row. The fun never ends, right? Well, thank you for tuning in. This has been the Bruce Montalvo Show. You can find us on Facebook at the Bruce Montalvo Show. Click like. At Twitter at Bruce Montalvo. And again, we broadcast live on Spreaker.com, Spreaker.com/the Bruce Montalvo Show every Monday, 9 p.m. Mountain Time, Fridays, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And the fun never ends. And the guests, they just keep getting better and better and better. And we've got a whole list of guests for this year of 2018 that are just going to blow you away. So we hope you enjoyed this segment. Catch you on the flip side.
Not the music you were expecting? Know what you're getting into with your music and your internet. Straight Up Internet is $50 all in, no hidden fees. And like this music, you can even pause it. Straight Up Internet, know what you're getting into.
Banner University Medicine is dedicated to bringing the best medical care to the Tucson community. Our newest hospital is designed with your health in mind. With 228 private patient rooms, 22 operating rooms, and more than $50 million in patient care technology, your care and comfort are our top priority. Banner University Medicine, making Tucson's future brighter and your visits easier. Now open at 1625 North Campbell Avenue. Online at bannerhealth.com/University Tucson.